Welcome to the Coffee Bar Stories,
A DTZ Entertainment Presentation.
hosted by Dad and Son. Welcome back to the Coffee Bar Stories, and in today's episode, episode 18, me and Dad are going to be talking about some pop paraphernalia that we've used in the past and give our opinions on them and some other stuff like that.
Yeah, I think we'll talk about the differences between some of like the glass, the metal,
The
plastic,
silicone.
even, and
Yeah, the
silicone.
acrylic.
Yeah. So if you hang in with us, we may get to something you use, and these aren't tested ones. We didn't get a bunch together and test them. This is just what we found out through all of our usages.
Yeah, basically
and
what
stuff,
how we've partaken in the past and which ones are our favorites. And
Yeah.
we've talked
Why?
about this a few times on the podcast, but I'm sure it's constantly changing.
That is a big thing for me. I've noticed that my favorite paraphernalia, whether it's a bowl, bong, whatever, it keeps changing. Well, we'll get into some of the reasons why I have to pick certain things now. But
Yeah.
so with that, let's start off. Give a rundown like on your top 5 like bowls. It doesn't matter what paraphernalia. Your top 5 that you like using at this moment.
Oh, okay.
Because I know you do a rotation. Of
Yeah,
things,
I
too.
use a few different ones every so often. Currently, I really do like the Chillum. That has to be the top, the number one.
Okay, now
'Cause,
explain a little. We've done it before, but in case somebody's new,
yeah,
exactly what a chillum might be. Now I'll tell you, most
I'm-
people do know what a pinch hitter is.
Yeah,
so
I was
if
about
you
to say,
wanna-
I'm going to assume that, whoever's listening at least has the basic knowledge of marijuana at this point. I mean, it is the marijuana episode. So, it's basically a bigger pinch hitter.
Yeah.
It has a little wider of a mouthpiece, or not a mouthpiece, but a bowl on it that you can put in. So basically, I would think maybe it can hold about 2 pinch hits worth. Some companies that you buy them from will tell you that they're still a one hitter or a pinch hitter, but I use them more as a bowl. It's it's a more user friendly bowl.
Well, I'll tell you, It may be just advertising it for that reason as a one hitter to say it's a one hitter, but it's not a one.
Oh yeah, definitely
by
not.
any means. It's not. I guess a pinch hitter. It's also been called like a sneak a toke.
A sneak
You
attack.
know,
Okay,
because
yeah,
it's not
I
very
can see
much.
why.
You can take the whole thing in, it's not gonna burn.
Mhm.
Well, chill them. I don't know unless you're really
Unless you're packing light, unless it's a
you're
smaller one,
or
too.
you're really into hitting heavy.
Mm-hmm.
I can't see no one making it one hit and that's it.
Oh
you
yeah,
know?
no, not especially. You'd be blazing through your supply at that
Well,
point.
yeah. Wow,
But-
if it took that much for you to, you're doing like 3 or 4 of those
Mhm.
like that
Yeah,
to get high, then yeah, it's time for you to
because even
take
as
take a sabbatical on it.
yeah, because
Lower that tolerance.
with a mid tolerance or even a mid to low tolerance, Chillum, just one of them should get you pretty dazed.
Oh, you should be fine. With
Yeah, and if you're trying to get any higher, all you would need is one extra one at that. Even just a half of one would get you.
that. Yeah.
I mean, with my tolerance, I need a few more than that, but also I need to. That's a
Yes,
whole different. That's a whole different thing there. But for the number 2, I'd have to say bong because I'm constantly using one. Today, recently,
Yeah,
just
but
got
which bong like?
that's what I was gonna get at.
Okay.
Because usually I used to use glass, but I just recently got a silicone one.
Okay.
Since I'm so terrified of breaking them, since I already broke a bigger one that I had that I'm a little upset about.
That's
And-
another part we'll be discussing.
Yeah, and well, the silicone one, I've used it a bit today, and I mean I've used them in the past, and I didn't really care for them. Usually it's a silicone bong that actually looks like the beaker bongs. Okay.
I see. I
And
understand.
I guess with the neck being that long and it being made out of silicone, it's just really hard to get a draw on it. And
Like it too collapsible.
I can never get a good hit. Whenever I hit them, I can
Okay.
never because usually you'd feel it in your lungs and then you'd see it coming out when you blew out. But I'd never blow anything out, and it just felt like I was inhaling air. So I've always passed up silicone bongs. But I mean, recently I found this little duck one, and it didn't have that whole neck thing to it. It's just it's like you're kissing the duck at this point. So I'm like, okay, that might be a little easier. And using it today I actually think I prefer the silicone to the glass now to it because I'm not gonna break it. Probably the easiest option to clean at this point because it doesn't have those big nooks and crannies like the bongs do, and especially mine with those little perks on them and the whole way the downstem connects. It's ridiculous.
You mean the beaker looking bong you had?
Yeah.
Okay, now Yeah, folks, with that bong he's talking about, up in the stem part that comes up to where you would inhale out of, there's 3 chambers in it that have different looks to them, like little glass rods coming up to a dome and maybe a bubble type thing.
Just
little
to aerate, make it bubble more
I
what it
guess.
does. It's to diffuse the water, make it bubble more. It's to aid in filtration. And I'm putting air quotes in there because I'm not really sure it does, but also it could at the same time because I'm not a big expert in this.
But it doesn't, like, we use 420 cleaner. It's for paraphernalia.
Yeah.
And it doesn't get it out. It's not.
It's hard to get clean, and I'm sure if you looked online somewhere, you'd find like instructions on how to get this, how to deep clean your perks, because that's what those are called, the little areas, to how to deep clean perks. And the only way I can think of is if you had stock in some the isopropyl alcohol.
Yeah.
And you were able to get that in there with some salt. But even then, those crannies are still really small, actually. It looks like it'd even be smaller than
you'd almost have to boil it. I think that one would have to be...
Yeah, that's what I was getting.
Your stock, like your... stock pot, that's it. Because of the tallness of it. But I think, well, you'd be able to see it, but 10 minutes into there. Now, what will not come out, even if you boil it, is if you, like, left the resin and everything in there, and you didn't screw with it, and you just let it sit, and we'll go months of not using it, did nothing. Then you want to go and try to clean it by boil and all that. You're going to be doing it about 3 different boils because that resin's going to become a rock in there. And
oh yeah, definitely.
It doesn't soften easily from that state for some reason. Even people that have ever, cleaned out their pipes or whatnot for resin when they're hard up, they know that stuff that's sat in them bowls that are not been used for a long while. No, that stuff doesn't come out easily, nor does it melt up or nothing like it should.
Yeah.
It goes almost into like a charcoal white briquette after that.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And whether you get a buzz from it, I don't remember.
I mean, at that point, I'd figure you wouldn't. But
maybe placebo at that point.
Yeah. I think the third would have to be, and I haven't had one in a very long while, but it would have to be the blunt, because I mean. I can't deny it. I like a nice blunt. They're nice. Okay. They're nice. And for the bowl, and at this point, I prefer these metal bowls that like the one we're using now to the glass ones, because I feel like they're. At this point, it's getting them clean sucks, and then also they break constantly. We're constantly breaking stuff here, and I'm getting sick of it. And it's one thing because I moved towards silicone, and it's another thing because you got the metal bowl.
Yeah, see, that's the thing that I keep telling everybody. Hold on, we'll get to the breakage part. And you made the bowls your last 5th one. And stuff.
Bowl's my 5th one.
Yeah, because you said, what you said about liking the metal and the silicone ones to the glass. But that's where my problem is. I get the drops out of my hands because of all the years of fine-tuning my hands. Just as I gotten older, they just ache and they drop things, you know. And I've gone through how many bowls?
I'd have to say like 10.
10 of them by now?
It feels like since the apartment.
I know they're not all mine. That's the worst part.
Yeah, since the apartment, I've gone through quite a few different ones, and I've loaned you quite a bit of the ones I've went through
that you haven't gotten back.
Yeah, and but I agree with you. It's and also even with me just being able to hold stuff normally, I'm not having that problem. I'm always terrified I'm gonna break any and all of my pieces, and especially the glass bongs that I do have. I've just at a point don't want to use them anymore.
I noticed that I'd make mistakes and survive, and they would survive a couple of times of them, is setting them down like in the shop on my desk when we would be out there, whatnot like that.
Yeah.
I noticed it was just places I would set them down or it's not even, or that was another problem I'd have about breaking them. If they didn't slip out of my hand, was setting them on something. And hell, I'd be maybe breaking a bud up to load it again, and all of a sudden you hear, not necessarily break or something, but you knew it went. I just turn around, there it is on the ground, and whether we'll say it didn't break, but it chipped most likely somewhere or something.
Oh yeah,
but you guaranteed that's your last shot with that sucker falling. That ain't gonna take another fall.
Oh god.
Or a bump made, because I've had that where I know that the bowl must have fell, but then like I set it down wrong on the table or tapped it too hard.
Yeah. And
it just crack in half or something.
I was cleaning one at one point. I think I was trying to knock the stuff that was inside of it, and I guess I hit it a little too hard because the piece that I was holding in my hand firmly was still there, but the bowl and the rest connecting was on the ground, shattered into a million pieces. Actually, I really like that one because it was, I think, my reddish blue swirly bowl that I had. I broke that one. I'll take the blame because I know I did. And I think Squirt was also in here smoking with me, and he was like, way to go, dumbass, because he watched me do it. And at the moment he was telling me I wouldn't do that, and I'm like, I know what I'm doing, don't leave me alone, bro. And like, I wouldn't do that.
That's the problem. That's the problem with the glass. You don't know if you've compromised by setting down wrong. Like, here's a good little story for you, is your Uncle Adam, when obviously back in the day, area we were living in up there, they probably had just been around maybe 6 months to a year. You heard about them, and actually head shops started having them.
Okay.
The glass bowls, and these suckers were thick.
Okay.
They weighed something, and the only ones I seen you could get, that, or at least at the head shops up there, they would be about 6 inches long.
Okay.
About inch and a half diameter around.
Okay.
You know, but obviously in a shape going out. The bowl area where you would put the bowl in probably was about half an inch across area. You know, I mean, like bubble.
Okay.
And it weighed. It was heavy bowl and stuff. You couldn't clean it. Like maybe with pipe cleaners. It came in, when you bought it, it came in this big bag that was cloth, and it had thick padding. It must have had an inch thick padding all the way around it in there that you put it in. When he brought that thing over, you know, back then we drank and all that, he would watch it. He'd be like, man, he'd hand it to you. You had to use 2 hands to take it from him. He was serious about it, because I think the thing cost him like $70-80.
Oh, shit.
It was outrageous how much it cost.
Yeah, because I don't think I'll pay more than, if I'm going to buy a bowl, I'm not paying any more than $15 for it. Because
the ones you get now easily and everything is cheap compared to what he had. This thing must had to drop it. You probably could get on concrete one big screw up drop out of it and walk away with it, because that thing's how thick that was.
Yeah, they don't make them really
regular
that thick
bowl
anymore.
was shattered. Regular bowl would have been shattered everywhere. But this thing, I think one time it was. But you're talking, this is in the 90s still. This was probably 97, 98. So it was one hell of a situation back there, you know, having glass like that. So they were charging you arms and legs.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Because, I mean, I did buy one expensive bowl one time. It was like $60-70, and it didn't last long. For whatever reason. I'm just going to put it this way. I was talking, and I guess when I was talking, I was moving my hands around, and I guess I didn't have a strong enough grip on the thing, because I stuck my arm out as far as I could left, and I guess as hard as I could, and it just launched itself over this fence into a construction yard and shattered against one of those claw truck, the cat things.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it just shattered against the door, and I broke it, and I think I only had it for like 2-3 days at that point. So yeah, no, I give up at that point. I'm not buying anything that expensive.
Yeah, with the glass bowls and everything, I guess I'm pretty much done with them. Well, they don't make them like they don't make them that thick and stuff, and I get why they don't. It's they turn into a mass production situation for themselves.
Yeah.
Now the ones I like on bowls would be from the old school era, even the metal bowl, where it's all in pieces. You can unscrew the bowl. You can
like the one we have here.
Yeah, you can buy several of them. Get elbows and all that. You can make funky looking things. At one point, they were so popular that you could buy just elbow pieces and rods, because you don't need a bunch of mouthpieces. You only need one mouthpiece, so you know, hell, I've seen ones where you can add on to 2 bowls. Oh,
I've seen
there's so
like
many
that before.
Oh, you can make 1,000 configurations with them by buying bowls. They used to get where you can buy a ring. I imagine you could, but you put this ring. It's a 2-sided, or not 2-sided, but it's a threaded ring.
Yeah.
You screw it into one bowl so far, and then you take it and put some weed in it. Then you put another bowl and put some weed in it, and you screw it together on that ring. so it's like a tube.
Yeah.
And then you put a elbow connector there with a bowl on top, and then a mouthpiece at the other end of that bowl. You know, so it's 2 bowls, elbow, mouthpiece, and it's 3 bowls, an elbow, and a mouthpiece. That's what it is.
Okay.
And what you're doing is when you smoke the weed on top, it's resonating the weed in the bowl. 2 bowls, you do about 3 bowls worth of that. Unscrew those ones you had the weed in there, and then you got resin weed to smoke. That was a thing that me and your uncle Adam used to do.
I'm trying to see if they still sell the those.
Well, you used to be able to buy pieces too. Now, see, they used to have like the rubber stem pieces that go on it so you ain't touching the hot metal and stuff.
Yeah.
Now, those you could buy, you know, in packets, and they'd have different designs to them, whatever, like that, you know. But the elbows and corner pieces and whatnots, you could buy those separately. And they weren't that much. They were only like $3 or $4. Because back in the day, these bowls that we buy now used to run us $10 to $15, $20.
Yeah.
Depending on how big they are. You know, I won't say what we paid for ours, but we didn't pay anywhere near that no longer.
Yeah, I found it though. It's a bunch of pieces. It says build
That's
your own.
it?
Yeah, build your own bowl. The prices I didn't really look at, but I think one said 79 cents for a piece.
Total price $1.05.
Okay, yeah, no, that sounds right.
Okay.
So you can buy just a bunch of stuff like that, make the Uber metal pipe.
Yeah, and they even come in colors.
Mm-hmm. And I saw acrylic on there too, which I thought was really weird.
The acrylics, I don't know much about.
I'm not a big fan of acrylic.
Yeah, see, that one is kind of iffy to me. I'll tell you, the build your own bowls, these are nice. It makes it to where you really can. That's why I like those. But you can get creative, and you could break them all the way down to get them clean.
Oh yeah, yeah.
That was the biggest thing, was getting clean. Cause here's one. I bought these bowls. Your mom didn't do that stuff, but she liked this little bowl that had a turtle on it.
Yeah.
It was somebody made it. You know, had an acorn bottom and clay thing made the turtle, right? And it had like a wooden bowl at the top, and it was a copper tube that would come up, but it was all covered with
wood,
old clay stuff, you know.
Okay.
And she didn't use it, but she had it on her nightstand, you know, as a display, because she liked it. But I had bought one that was like a lizard, because I liked it, and it was right in your hand. It was neat. And I must have smoked 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 bowls out of the thing, cleaned it once, did it, maybe got a week or two use out of it. Couldn't get nothing through it. You can't even run pipe cleaner. You can't run the pipe cleaner through it.
Oh man.
You couldn't. It back then or now, you just couldn't. It's the bending of it. Even if you heat it up or try to heat it up, it wouldn't work. So I just put it up for, you know, display down like my coffee bar and everything. So, but yeah, that bowl, that was one that really got to me about, like, I liked it, but man, damn it, can't use it.
Yeah.
And it would always, never fears, stuff like that gets clogged. Pinch hitters,
definitely.
right at the worst time with nothing to get through there or help you clean it out, and you're maybe with a buddy or something, you know, and that's what used to get to me. So that's why I like these metal bowls that are all pieces that you can put together.
And at this point, I mean, looking at how cheap those pieces were on that website, you can just buy a handful and just keep them like a fanny pack on you. Oh, that one's clogged. Move to the next one.
Almost like at the prices they are, it's almost like the uber elite rich that, you know, they use something once and that's it.
Oh yeah, just throw it away. Just
They only wear a t-shirt once, you know, underwear once, that kind of thing.
It's like, oh, time to go jogging. Need new pants.
Yeah, no kidding. All right, I'll tell you what. We're going to take a quick break and let you guys check out some new commercials to go through. And when we come back, I'll give you a rundown of some of the bowls and bongs that I like.
Rello Radio Show, Monday nights at 7 p.m. Central Time. DJ CO1.
All right, now we're back. So here we go with a couple of my favorite ones. Talking about it before the break, we did the metal bowls. That is probably my very favorite. Now I do like some of the silicone bowls we've had. Now, Now, I like the elephant one you had down. That was pretty cool, which you couldn't fill. It gets filled up, believe it or not. The bowl itself, that glass bowl it has in it with the slits for, you know, the screenage, I guess is what we would consider. Now, with that, you got to keep that thing, that was hard to keep clean. I remember that.
Yeah, it's extremely hard.
But
I mean, we still have it.
But as far as, you know, it being silicone, though, I didn't have no problems with hitting it.
Oh yeah, neither did I. That one was more of a bowl. That one's easier to hit.
Yeah,
I do like that.
The elephant and stuff. Yeah, see that silicone, you know, it's not for titties any longer. You know, good old silicone bowl, can't go wrong with it. You know, because in reality, the way the round bowl comes out gives you an open area in there. Is what I like, and this is probably on a lot of silicone things, but I liked how you could let that thing sit, and any of the resins gone down in there and hardened and everything up, you can always flex that thing
and it'll pop it
right out to the hole. You know, it'd be to clean it out. I don't now. This is where you'd probably have to look at it. Look on the bottle. We may have a bottle laying around to look on, but. Like 420 cleaner?
I don't think that would actually work. I'm actually a little afraid that if you use 420 cleaner on like silicone, because I know it's used for like glass, because I know they have different ones for different types of things.
What about
I don't know if it's silicone friendly. Now it might be, but also it might actually dissolve the silicone. Like I don't know if there's like if the alcohol is strong enough to do that.
Here's a question: would a boil work?
Oh, I'm pretty sure a boil would work.
Because as long as you watch, I guess, with the temperature of the water, as long as you just don't go into a full roll boil.
I mean, as long as it doesn't reach the boiling point of silicone, or I mean the melting point of silicone, because I'm sure it's not that high, but it's also not that low.
Yeah, because in reality, you're not really having to put on this. We're talking about like doing maintenance. I guess keep maintenance on your paraphernalia so it doesn't get clogged up and stuff. You know, it's easy to smoke out of, and it doesn't take 2 hours to clean up.
I actually just looked it up for the 420 cleaner. They actually have a specific formula called 420 Formula 420 plastics and silicone cleaner.
Is it a green label?
It's a blue.
Because
the one we get is a red label.
Because I did see at the store that
there's a green 710 cleaner, and that's green.
Red. Which that's ours. Is the red's the one we had bought?
Yeah.
And I did see a green one.
I
guess I did see the blue one there.
There's another blue one too.
Is it light blue?
Blue and orange.
Okay, I've seen those too at the place. They're not cheap, folks.
No.
Their stuff's kind of expensive, but it's also, I guess, your
$21.95 for a pack of 4, and they're 12 ounces each, or 12 fluid ounces each.
That's pretty much one usage.
Well, this is also the 710 clean. Because I pulled it up to see what it looked like.
I don't even know what 710.
The 710 would be for like dabs and oil and stuff. It cleans that stuff real easily.
Is that why it's in a smaller size?
I think so actually. Though I'm pretty sure they have bigger sizes. The bottles. I was just on Amazon. I didn't really mean to open Amazon. I just clicked the first link after looking up if 420 cleaner can clean silicone.
Yeah, that's one thing I would suggest if you're trying to clean your paraphernalia without any chemical-wise stuff like that. To always research what you're needing, but buy it probably from Amazon is going to be your best bet, or even the company's website may offer some deals. I don't
know. Or if if it's for your since it's for your paraphernalia, even a head shop, an online head shop, or even an in-store like a brick and mortar shop that you can go to that carries cleaner would probably be the best place to ask. Like, what is the best one to use? Since they work there, they should know. I mean, online, I don't really know about the customer service. About online, I don't know anybody who would want to go through all that.
Well, but that's a little more. But I'm sure there's
in-store
shop somewhere. Just a head shop that you can go to, or smoke shop, I guess is what they're called nowadays. Back in my day, when I was younger, they were called head shops and stuff.
Yeah. They still are technically. Not a lot of people use that though, since it's more widely accepted than it used to be.
Yeah, the head shop got that connotation to it.
It's something illegal.
Yeah. Yeah, it just plays into a stereotype that's kind of silly nowadays. With the cleaners, we know all about how to look them up and everything, but I tell you, the silicones are pretty cool, but the specialty bongs that like you can get, now those I've seen are really neat. And that's one thing I'm not into collecting them no more, but
Yeah.
some of them are pretty cool, but it's just like, man, that seems like it's a waste just to use though.
Oh yeah,
Because
definitely.
because you're gonna dirty it. I decided a long time ago I'm not gonna be collecting that stuff no more. I did it with the porcelains
Yeah.
back in my 20s and whatnot. I decided after that I was like, nah, just it's too much to go through. And they do get, and after a while they do start to smell if you don't clean them out and stuff like that. And I get lazy.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Me too.
I didn't like cleaning them, getting rid of the water. That's the biggest thing.
Oh yeah, it is. Because
That water.
especially, I mean, if you don't clean it, it's gonna get you sick, and it's not of
Oh no, I'm just talking forgetting about it. It's sitting there.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
And in a place where it's not gonna evaporate fast whatsoever for some reason. Because I've had that happen with bongs, and we'll say they're sitting on a bookshelf, right? And then I couldn't even give you a time frame on how long they're sitting there, but it's a long period of time. And then let's say it gets bumped, and it rattles enough to break the seal of that skin in there. All of a sudden you can smell the bong. And it's just like when you spill it.
Yeah.
Like when you spill it, but just imagine that it punches you in the face of that smell.
Oh god,
is
no.
what it is.
That's bad. That smells horrible.
The porcelain bongs, I've had that happen to me in the porcelain bong. That's the one that was like you got punched in the face with it. It was very pungent.
Yeah. Did you have any other favorite ones?
I like the pinchers. I like a pinch hitter when I used to go on hikes and shit like that. Or bike rides even.
Yeah.
Because that way, everything's compact. It's in there. I'm not sitting on the side there smoking a full bowl.
Yeah.
I just can, like we'll say on a bike, I can just like stop off to the side, pull it out, do a quick hit, put it back in my pocket, start riding, blow out the hit, and I'm done. It's like I went on a scenic ride, and I'm pulling over and getting everybody, people riding by me, staring, and I'm just sitting there, looking like Cheech and Chong.
Yeah.
And shit. Because that's it, I try not to draw attention to myself.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Oh, here's a story for you. Me and my Uncle David, I was 15 at the time. Yeah, 15. We're going for a ride down the long road next to the rivers, and we're hitting on the pinch here, and I'm new to all this still, I just started getting really high and stuff.
Yeah.
And he was only like 9 years older than me, so he wasn't all that much older. We're going down that road, and his buddy just driving, I'm in the middle, and he's on the other side of me, my uncle, in a pickup truck. They pass the pinch hitter to me, and I take this big ass hit, and just as I do, we shoot past I think a county police officer.
Oh great.
And my uncle's like, "Oh, son of a bitch, give me that here." He's starting to jock everything. The driver's like, "Oh shit," he's doing that. Looking at the road, looking up at the
mirror,
rear mirror, looking at the road, and the cop pulls out to come after us. All of a sudden, because they're like, "Don't turn around," because I just started turning around, just as I did, and they're yelling at me, "Don't turn around." I turn around. The cop's pulling out to come get us. Just as he gets, probably the back doors of his cruiser are on the road at this point, as he's pulling onto the road off the side area there.
Yeah.
He gets smoked by a car.
Oh shit.
Yep. Another car coming down the highway. I don't know if they were already in that lane or if they started getting over and thought that he was going all the way out or what the deal was. But just as I looked, I watched it. He got smoked. Spun him out. We just kept going. And shit. And my heart was beating in my chest. Something fierce. And we drove down past the lodge. There's way down this way. It had like a bar. Way down this place is just a bar off to the side of the road. They pulled in there. We got out about 15 minutes. Hung out outside the place. We didn't even go in. Then got back in, turned around, headed back, and then we stopped off at this place where you can go up on the cliff things or whatever, walk around and look. like scenic views. We went up there and, and then we smoked a couple bowls. But, yeah, that was first time with my uncle. Wasn't the first time with him smoking it, but first time with him and a buddy of his and everything. I was like, holy.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Was the cop okay?
I don't know. It couldn't have been too bad because by the time we passed back through there, everything was done and gone.
Okay. So the crash it didn't look as bad as I'm envisioning it. He just got hit and spun out a little.
He was taken out. He wasn't chasing nobody.
Oh, okay.
He wasn't T-boned. I don't think he was T-boned. More or less is hit in the back, like where the rear wheel is, on back to the trunk. Hit at that type of angle, so it basically, he's coming out trying to turn that way. It just re-slung him the other way, but there's no way his car can be driven. The whole back axle shot. Okay. You know what I mean? It's completely crumpled.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, there was no way. We were probably gone. 7 hours probably passed after the incident when we came back through.
Okay.
So, yeah, it was gone. So, yeah, I imagine he was fine. Because usually something like that, they would still be out there investigating.
Oh, yeah.
My uncle wasn't too happy with me. He did get mad, yeah. But like I told him, I said, we got away.
Yeah.
Yeah, the pincher and dugout for like traveling with, that was probably my favorite. Now as far as like if I'm going out and I can't, I don't need to keep nothing on me. I need it to be disposable. Then a doobie.
Yeah.
That's fine there. I like that. I like that for the disposableness. Like if I was going to a concert or something where you can't just go up in there and do whatever you want. It's a venue. It's restricted and shit.
Yeah.
Then, yeah, I'm going to bring something I can do beforehand and be disposable and not have paraphernalia on me or nothing. Let's see. We covered much the ones I like the most. I'll tell you what, out of all the bongs and bowls and everything, I will say my most favorite is the metal one. So. So until something better comes along, I'm going to stick with that, I think.
There you go.
All right. Well, I'll tell you what. If you want, tell us what you think. What's your favorite type of paraphernalia? Email it to us, and we'll read it and tell you what we think. This is Dad.
And this is Son.
We'll talk to you again on Coffee Bar Stories.
Thank you and good night.
Thank you for listening. This is Dad.
And Son on the Coffee Bar Stories.
A DTZ Entertainment presentation.
Check in every 2 weeks for a new episode. All music was brought to you today by Kevin MacLeod.